First of all, thank you all for being here today, and thank you to everyone who's watching. When we wrote this bill, we never could have imagined the interest and support that we have received, so truly, thank you. We have a few advocates and friends here today to speak to you, but first I want to introduce the bill, House Bill 1532, and give a brief overview of what it's really about. My name is Jen Carter, and I am co-founder of the Humanization Project. The Humanization Project seeks to humanize those of us behind bars in the eyes of the general public with the goal of driving criminal justice reform. Because we know it's not data that drives public perception these days, but rather the sharing of real human stories. As an organization, we do many things, but one of our main endeavors right now is conducting interviews with people who are currently behind bars and people who have gotten out who are doing good work in this world. And in the most simple way, that is what this bill is about, giving good people the opportunity to earn time off of their sentences. Prior to 1995, the year parole was abolished in Virginia, and as part of the truth in sentencing laws that were enacted then, the quote, good time system that had previously allowed people behind bars to earn up to 50% off of their sentences for good behavior was diminished down to irrelevant amounts. To this day, anyone sentenced after 1995 has to serve at least 87% of their sentence. This is the least amount of time off that anyone behind bars can earn in the entire nation. Unlike parole, which needs to be brought back completely, this system, now called the Earned Sentence Credit System, while minuscule, still exists. House Bill 1532 just simply seeks to expand that system and codify it into law. Currently, someone on their very best behavior behind bars in Virginia can only earn up to 4.5 days off of their sentence for every 30 days served. There are lower levels of learning put into place by the Department of Corrections at the moment, but they are up to their discretion and not codified in the law. House Bill 1532 would expand those levels and make them clear and understandable to everyone behind bars. In addition, House Bill 1532 would reward people behind bars for maintaining good behavior over time, making it so that by maintaining the highest earning level over a period of 5 years or more, could a person get the most time off of their sentence. I've said it before, but when someone can get an institutional charge simply for having the wrong colored ink pen, this becomes quite a feat. Data shows that the best way to prompt people behind bars to better themselves is to give them tangible incentives like time off of their sentences. House Bill 1532 would do just that, but that only scratches the surface of what this bill is about. House Bill 1532 would ensure that the teenage son who lives in Washington State, who has not seen his father in over 6 years, and is the kind of kid who gives his designer shoes and hoodie to another kid who he knows also has a father locked up and can't afford nice things, but is suffering so much that he has headaches so bad he pukes because he misses his father, will finally get to reunite with him before he's 18 years old. This bill would ensure that the mother who is dying in a hospital in Southwest Virginia just might get to spend some real quality time with her son again before she passes away. This bill would make it so that the, quote, gangbanger who rehabilitated himself solely on his own accord and worked to start a program to stop violence in the streets of Richmond before he was even released could have gotten out sooner to help enact that program even further and more quickly and change his mother's broken light bulb when only she believed in him. House Bill 1532 is about family togetherness. House Bill 1532 is about community strengthening. House Bill 1532 is about racial equity. House Bill 1532 is about giving equal opportunity for betterment to all people behind bars. House Bill 1532 is about saving Virginia taxpayers billions of dollars over time. House Bill 1532 is about ensuring that all Virginia's citizens are safe. House Bill 1532 is about so much more than just letting good people out of prison. It is my pleasure today to have a few amazing advocates here to speak to you more in depth about some of the benefits of House Bill 52. But first, I would like to thank our advocate and sponsor of the bill, Delegate Scott. Unfortunately, he is in session right now, so he wasn't able to come and speak with us even though he wanted to, and so he sent me something to read for him. So he says, please remind all our lawmakers, leaders, administration officials, and advocates that we cannot let cost considerations alone prevent us from providing a more equitable and just system of true justice and just punishment. Do we really believe in the principles of restoration, rehabilitation, and reconciliation? If we do, let's give all our citizens a comprehensive way to earn their way back to society with technical skills and coping skills to succeed. Let's incentivize true rehabilitation. This bill does that. So we were very grateful for Delegate Scott for putting our bill in this year. So now I would like to introduce to you Valerie Slater, representing the NAACP and Rise for Youth.
Good afternoon. My name is Valerie Slater, and I'm the Executive Director of Rise for Youth, which stands for Reinvest in Supportive Environments, and a member of the Political Action Committee of the Virginia State Convention NAACP. And today I'm here to support House Bill 1532 as a tangible step in justice system and prison reform for all affected Virginians. House Bill 1532 has the potential to address some of the effects of disproportionate prosecution and the harsh prison sentences disproportionately imposed on Black, brown, and poor men, women, and youth. It is no secret that the justice system in Virginia has the greatest and most harsh impact on persons of color and poor people, not because of higher rates of unlawful behavior, but because of racist and biased practices within the justice and prison systems. In response, criminal and juvenile justice, racial, social, economic justice, and educational justice, and other justice advocates, we have all band together to demand change. To demand equity and justice and an opportunity for incarcerated brothers and sisters to recover from their worst mistakes. This session, we have begun to see forward movement on reform efforts, but we cannot afford to leave any man, woman, or child out of this moment of reckoning and retribution. As we stand with our partners working to reform disparities in police contact, prosecutorial reform, and bail reform, we must also work to address sentencing reform. And as we celebrate progress made for the 300 impacted by fishback, we must also continue to fight for the more than 40,000 individuals whose sentences are not impacted by fishback. To be clear, RISE believes that individuals who commit harm must be held accountable for their actions. But we also believe in second chances and that individuals willing to do the work of changing their lives should have that second chance. The effects of a justice system should not throw away the lives of those who have paid a debt to society. Our system of justice must set individuals up for success in a changed life. The overcriminalization, prosecution, and incarceration of Black, brown, and poor people has led to an epidemic of fractured and disenfranchised families within our communities. Children with incarcerated parents, research suggests that the strength or weakness of the parent-child bond and the quality of that child and that family's social support system will play significant roles in the child's ability to overcome challenges and succeed in life. Children who have parents involved in the criminal justice system, they face a host of challenges and difficulties like psychological strain, antisocial behaviors, suspension or expulsion from school, economic hardship, and they themselves involved in criminal activity. In our work, RISE has the opportunity to hear the firsthand stories of many young people who share that their encounters with the justice system evolved from the experiences of their brothers, their fathers, and sometimes even their mothers who have also had system involvement. Or from the absence of parents to give positive guidance because those parents are themselves incarcerated. We have an opportunity here to intervene in cycles of justice system involvement by allowing incarcerated individuals to earn good time for their hard work. They can come home to their families and even from the inside, model how positive choices and hard work can yield the ultimate reward of uniting families. RISE supports House Bill 1532 because we believe in second chances and the right for incarcerated individuals to earn those second chances. We ask you all to join us in supporting the ability of our citizens working hard and changing their lives behind the walls to come home.
Thank you so much, Valerie. Your support means the world to us. Next, I would like to introduce Matteo Gasparato of the ACLU of Virginia.
I'm Matteo Gasparato with the ACLU of Virginia. We're standing here with Jim Carter and Valerie Slater in support of HB 1532 for a host of reasons. The Commonwealth has a long way to go in mitigating its deep-rooted and long-running racial equity issue in policing and incarceration. It is our sincere hope that through bills like this one, we can start to close some of the gaps in justice faced by many communities in Virginia. It is no secret that persons tried in Virginia, especially those who dare to reject plea deals and go to trial, face some of the harshest sentences in the country for many offenses. We are looking to the General Assembly to give hope back to people who are incarcerated, their families, and to the communities that over 90% of them will eventually be released into. This bill provides considerable incentives for participation in therapeutic, vocational, and educational programming that could mean enhanced self-image and employability for those returning citizens who have served their time. We fully support this bill as it strives to open the door to better prisons and better outcomes for the people held in them. According to research cited by the National Criminal Justice Reference Service, obtaining a secondary degree in prison increased the odds of securing post-release employment by 59%. Obtaining a post-secondary degree in prison was associated with a greater number of hours worked and higher overall wages. Furthermore, earning a post-secondary degree significantly reduced recidivism. Similarly, the number of hours spent per week on a work assignment was negatively associated with both violent and non-violent misconduct. The results from these meta-analyses have shown that CBT programs reduce recidivism by 20 to 30%. Further, we applaud the retroactivity built into this bill as it precludes a looming disparity issue as we have seen with parole. The collision of the Clinton-era escalation of the war on drugs and the end of parole in 1995 created a situation where the majority of beneficiaries in Virginia have been white. This bill applies equally to everyone incarcerated at its implementation and will impact people across all communities. We see this bill as an important step forward in a racially equitable Commonwealth. The ACLU of Virginia urges the General Assembly to pass HB 1532 and bring more fairness into our criminal legal system. Thank you.
Thank you, Matteo. It is so wonderful that you're here with us today. Lastly, I wanted to address two aspects of House Bill 1532 that we believe should be given particular attention. In addition to all of this today, with the human issues aside, there is one issue which remains to be discussed and which is equally important because in the end, as much as we might not like it, numbers also come down to human benefit as well. Simply put, with our rough but conservative estimate, House Bill 1532 could save Virginia taxpayers over $100 million in the first year alone. Many Virginians don't realize this, but we spend almost $2 billion of taxpayer money each year alone on the prison system in this Commonwealth. That's one of the most expensive parts of our state budget. Certainly way more than we spend on educating our children, as we allocate over $32,000 per year to house each individual behind bars, but only spend about $11,000 per year per student on our school children. In addition, as Don pointed out, while some may argue that the implementation of House Bill 1532 will cost money, we cannot let cost considerations prevent us from doing the right thing to work towards ending mass incarceration. And the cost of the implementation will quickly be offset by no longer incurring the ongoing extreme cost of keeping good people behind bars. Lastly, before anyone asks, we purposely did not distinguish between any particular conviction of people behind bars in the enaction of House Bill 1532. There are a few reasons for this. First, the original sentence length is already dependent on the crime, so that automatically, no matter how much they earn off of their sentence, proportionally, people who committed greater crimes will still spend more time in prison. Also, and more importantly, while we have emotional reactions to, quote, violent criminals, those are the exact people who we should give the most incentive to better themselves. We need to make the people who have done the worst things we can imagine into better citizens. From research in New York, a city that has in recent years reduced its prison population in half, while at the same time reducing its crime rate in half. We see that the drivers of violence on an individual level are shame, isolation, exposure to violence, and an inability to meet one's economic needs. The main tenets of prison are shame, isolation, exposure to violence, and an inability to meet one's economic needs. Make no mistake, this isn't a debate about the effectiveness or ineffectiveness of long prison sentences. No, actually, prison is very effective. It is effective in actually perpetuating violence. So in the interest of keeping all our citizens safe, knowing that whether rehabilitated or not, at least 90% of all people behind bars will someday get out and rejoin our communities, it is in our best interest to give all those people a real incentive to be better citizens. House Bill 1532 does exactly this. Keeping people in prison longer doesn't make society safer. In fact, it may make us less safe. But we know that making better citizens certainly makes our society a safer one. So whether you believe in the ability of people to rehabilitate themselves or the need for Virginia to be a more equitable Commonwealth, or even just the shift from spending money on locking people up to maybe prioritizing spending that budget on our school children, please support House Bill 1532. Please call your legislators and call everyone on the Public Safety Committee today. If you have any questions, I would be happy to talk with you. And again, thank you all for being here today.